Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Eli and Lani go back, Holly awakens, Steve admits, Clyde issues his next order, Lani Price and Eli Grant returns to Salem. Ava Vitale is given an update regarding Wendy Shin, Victoria Grace, and Trip Johnson. In the meantime, Steve Johnson eventually comes clean with Constantine Meliones. Spoilers for the week of February 20 SIXS episode of Holly Jonas Wakes Up indicate that Holly returned to Salem, although she was still unconscious. Next week, that will finally come to an end. Holly's loved ones will be happy for her recovery, but she won't comprehend why she was unconscious in the first place. Nicole Walker DiMera and EJ DiMera are reluctant to reveal the drug scandal because they don't want Holly to suffer a setback. Tate Black is unfortunately going to be disappointed by Holly's memory loss. Tate was depending on Holly to clear his record. Grant Eli and Lani Price grant refund. The week of February 26th is when Eli and Lani will return at last. Sadly, there is a bittersweet cause for Lani's reappearance. Eli and Lani return to Paulina Price's aid following her heart attack and cancer surgery. The hostage situation with Wendy Shin and Trip Johnson. According to spoilers for the week of February 26th, Trip and Wendy will remain in captivity on Days of Our Lives. Wendy experiences a panic episode when she is being held captive. What is Trip going to do about Wendy's panic attack? In a normal situation, Trip would remain composed and support Wendy. Trip might get irrational while confined. Ava and Stefan DiMera also learn a little bit more about the kidnapping. Wendy and Trip will probably be spared. But what's going to prevent Clyde Weston from torturing defenseless Salemites even more? Stephanie Johnson observes Marlena Evans questioning Everett Lynch, Blake Barris. Chad DiMera is told about Bobby Stein by Everett. Later on in the week, Chad will console a distressed Stephanie. In other news, Kristen DiMera and Alex Kyriakis give each other an update on Brady Black and Teresa Donovan. After leaving treatment, Tate doesn't visit his parents. Tate finds himself living in a halfway home in Salem instead. Also, Stefan is instructed by Clyde Weston to permanently remove Harris Michaels. Steve delivers the truth to Constantine in the interim. When it comes to the week of February 26th, which storyline are you most excited to see? Tate's only hope, Chad rages at Everett, Jude's christening, and Sloane's surprise. According to spoilers for the upcoming 2 weeks of Days of Our Lives, February 26 to March 8, Wendy Shin will get a panic attack while she is being held captive by Trip Johnson. When Wendy's behavior spirals out of control throughout the week of February 26 to March 1, she will rely on Trip and seek solace afterward. It sounds like Trip and Wendy will imagine they're in some sort of paradise rather than being imprisoned in an old tank because they will utilize their imaginations. Rafe Hernandez will question Harris Michaels at the hospital, but it appears that he won't remember specifics about who followed him. Clyde Weston will advise Stefan to end Harris's relationship permanently, so Stefan will pretend to be a doctor and carry out his dangerous scheme. Obviously, since we now know Harris isn't leaving just yet, Stefan might get discovered or give up. According to additional DOL teasers, Marlena Evans will speak with Everett Lynch about his past and attempt to assist in sorting through the Bobby Stein turmoil. Everett will notify Chad DiMera on everything that transpires after he leaves the hospital. Since Chad doesn't even know who he really is, he will act like Everett couldn't possibly love Stephanie Johnson. Chad is worried about Everett's disorganized thinking since he will spend some time consoling Stephanie after learning about Bobby. After her recent heart attack, Paulina Price will reportedly receive some love, according to Days teasers. Eli Grant will accompany Lani Grant when she returns home after serving her sentence, much to Paulina's delight. Unfortunately, Lani will be a teary mess as she confides in Abe Carver about her anxieties since Kayla Johnson will have a terrible report on Paulina's condition. Chanel DiMera will also have the opportunity to see Lani, though they probably wish it were in a less awkward setting. The main concern will be Paulina and her ability to bounce back from her most recent health setback. Johnny DiMera will visit Holly Jonas beside her bedside at the DiMera mansion, maybe letting her know how much she's been missed. Given that Holly will likely regain consciousness shortly, anything Johnny says might be helpful. Day's spoilers indicate that while Holly will have significant memory gaps regarding how she got into that coma situation, Nicole and EJ DiMera would likely exhale in relief. Eventually, EJ and Nicole will come clean about the drug mayhem, but will Holly be able to use those confessions to clear Tate Black of any wrongdoing? Brady Black and Teresa Donovan will be devastated by the outcome of their most recent meeting with Tate. Tate lost it and stormed out on his parents, but Brady and Teresa will be hoping that Tate can heal and they can all be a family again. Brady and Teresa will visit Tate in his new halfway house in Salem, it turns out, in the hopes of reconciling with their son. In another scene, Kristen DiMera and Alex Kyriakis will get together to talk about their recent relationship difficulties and perhaps even exchange solutions. Steve Johnson intends to disclose something to Constantine Meliones. Steve has been making an effort to refute Constantine's claims regarding the pawn, but in the end, he will realize that this problem isn't going away. According to previews for Days, Steve will tell Constantine the truth about what actually occurred in Aria all those years ago in the hopes of working out a peaceful agreement. When Eric Brady suggests a Valentine's Day do-over, Sloane Peterson Brady won't be prepared for it. Sloane should be happy when Eric tries to make things right this time around because she was dissatisfied with how the real holiday went. In other news, Jude Brady's christening has not yet taken place, but it may come soon. Eric requested to wait until Nicole was available for the event, and because she is returning to the area and Holly will be awake, Nicole should be accessible shortly. We'll see if Eric starts things off, but there might be some baptismal preparations over the week of March 4th to 8th. This baptism has generated a lot of buzz, which could be problematic for Sloane and Melinda Trask, Tina Huang. Perhaps Connie Viniski overheard too much at small bar and decided to crash the event to stir things up, or perhaps Leo Stark would show up to mix things up. Will Steve Johnson be able to find Wendy and Tripp as they can't be kept as hostages forever? Instead, could Tripp and Wendy carry off a conspiracy of escape? In any event, the plot involving Wendy and Tripp might take some interesting detours. Sarah Horton will support Xander Cook and do all in her power to counter the evidence against him. Watch to see how Xander and Sarah handle this dilemma as they eventually enlist the aid of some resources from The Spectator. According to previews for Days of Our Lives, there will be a lot of action and some surprising revelations during the next 2 weeks. Now that Holly is back in Salem, Nicole and EJ spend a tender moment tending to her medical needs. Thankfully, Holly recovered just as well from whatever the Italian hospital did for EJ. Because Holly's return to consciousness makes Nicole and EJ very happy. Holly doesn't stay conscious for long before pleading with her mother and EJ to reveal the real reason behind her coma. What information will they give Holly? Nothing but the truth, and only the truth? Is a kind of incomplete truth? Will Nicole and EJ admit to knowing about Jamie Martin Mann's Tate arrest?